Gigabyte are absolutely killing it right now in the gaming monitor space, and now they decided to commit another homicide with the release of the Gigabyte S55U, which I gotta say is kind of an unfortunate name because, come on, you take a quick glance at the name and tell me what's an S and a 5. You literally can't, but whatever, at least the name points out that this is in fact a 55-inch display. So at that size, it is literally only for TV use. Unless you want to completely burn your eyes out by looking at such a giant screen at your desk, which, I mean, be my guest. But whether or not you want to use it for console gaming, PC gaming, or just doom scrolling on Netflix, then this is one of the best displays you can buy right now. The panel is a stunning 4K one, though do keep in mind that in some areas it is actually worse than the massive Aorus FO48U, the previous best Gigabyte display. Because while that thing was an OLED, the panel on this thing is actually more similar to the FV43U, you know, the giant monstrosity sitting behind me, seeing how they're both VA quantum dot panels. But there's still so much more to this display. Do you want HDR? Well, you're getting pretty much every single HDR standard you can think of. HDR10, HDR10 Plus, HOG, and Dolby Vision are all included. And it's going to look stunning on the 132 local dimming zones that this display has. So it's definitely a big step up from the FV43U, which only has a whopping 8 local dimming zones, but of course it has nothing on the FO48U, which, seeing how it's an OLED, it technically has millions of local dimming zones. There's also 2 more things it does slightly worse than the FO48U, and even the FV43U. Firstly, it has 96% coverage of the DCI-P3 color space compared to 98 on the FO48U, but honestly, you're going to need to have a pretty sharp eye to notice any difference in the color accuracy between these two models. And I can say pretty much the exact same thing for the refresh rate, seeing how this display only has a 120Hz refresh rate compared to 144 on the FV43U. Though again, if you can spot the difference between 120Hz and 144Hz, then I don't know what to tell you. You really need to touch some grass. Oh, and also it doesn't have DisplayPort, seeing how it's more of a traditional TV compared to a gaming monitor. Though again, I can't imagine too many people would be using DisplayPort with this behemoth in the first place. Now naturally, all of this isn't going to come cheap, but it does so many things right. I mean, can you really fault it for anything here? I mean, yes, kind of. Many people are definitely going to be annoyed at the fact that this isn't an OLED, seeing how there are many 55-inch plus OLEDs already available on the market. But they're not the same kind of gaming-oriented displays that this one is. Because for the people who want both a great gaming display for PCs and consoles, but also a great multimedia experience for stuff like YouTube, Netflix, and other streaming services, then this is the best of both worlds. If you simply want the greatest cinematic experience ever, then you're probably just gonna go for an LG or something. But if you're the kind of customer that needs all the things that this display does, and you still somehow have money left over despite all of this crazy inflation, then hey, I guess you know which display you need to buy. If you want to buy a more reasonable display in the meantime, then make sure to use our Amazon associates links down in the video description below, because if you use those, you don't pay anything extra while we get some money back that gets reinvested straight back into the channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, we also have a Patreon, which is going to be down in the video description below as well. And even just $1 single a month truly goes a long way, while you get awesome perks as well. I'd also like to thank my existing patrons, Gavin Burns, Ryan, AKB, Meg Sumner, Shin Allcraft Lansby, and Jesse Hubman. Thank you guys so much, support truly goes a long way. Down there you also can find our merch store, our Discord server, and our social media links as well. But anyway, that's what it's. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.